right? We're just gonna shake it off a bit. I want everyone to just shake it off real quick. Shake it off real quick. Shake it off, get that energy flowing, get the head moving, shake the hair, right? Hands up, wave around, wave around.
I feel like I'm in a gym class.
It's alright, it's alright. I just want the energy flowing. I just want the energy flowing. Alright, you guys do it. We're gonna sit back there. Alright. So I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. First and foremost, I gotta give it back to Manny. Manny actually is my training mentor, so everything I learned from this guy right here. But I know I get on his nerves sometimes too. It's all the time. But real quick, guys, I'm gonna go over social media. All right. Now I don't know a lot of things, in general, but there was one thing that I learned very young in this industry, and that social media is key when you're building this business. I've been building on social media since 2014. I joined the industry towards the end of 2013. And every organization, I built multiple organizations of over 500-600 people in every company I've ever joined, and it's all been through straight social media. Now, what I want you to understand is, first disclaimer, is I believe there's a reason why social media is last, right, in this training, and it's because most people hear the social media side, and because social media is so easy to revert to, that's the only thing people do, is think that they can just get rich off of recruiting a bunch of people off of social media, right? But the reality is, without all the skills that we went through, yesterday and today, recruiting people on social media isn't going to get you very far. Does that make sense? Because you still need to know how to duplicate and how to build once they're into the business. All right, so I want to make that very clear. Now, in terms of social media, I want to give you guys a quick story into how I even got started, in building on social media. Because a lot of the times when I try to talk to my team or my new members about building online, everyone always talks about what these social media, gurus' accounts look like now, right? And if we look at today's world, everything is all about lifestyle and, so on and so forth. If you look at any of the Forex gurus online, the only thing they're posting is like Lamborghinis and stuff like that, just keeping it real, right? But when it comes to making sales online, what I want you guys to understand, especially in this industry, you don't need any of that stuff, right? I've been recruiting online since I was a broke college student, and absolutely nothing has changed, right? So when I first got into the industry, okay, it was actually pretty funny. My first company, this is just how excited, how fired up I was to even be a part of this, this lovely industry that we're a part of. But the guy that brought me in, number one was a bozo, right? So anyone here have a bozo upline? Right? But complete bozo, right? Brought me into the industry, signed up, disappeared, right? Whatever the case may be. He was around, but he wasn't around, right? And I had to pretty much learn how to do everything on my own. Okay. Now, one of the first things I did was, it was me and one of my friends. We went ahead and we started running home events. And it was very quickly that I realized that my friend had a lot more friends than I did. Okay. So as he's contacting everyone and hitting everyone up, I really didn't have many people on my phone to actually invite. And it didn't discourage me because I already knew I was going to run a comp plan. But I'm like, damn, what is the next move? Like, how do I expand more? Right? Now, the first thing I did is I got on my computer, and it was so funny because right before I joined network marketing, I was actually looking online. And again, this was back in like 2013, 2014. So back then, Craigslist was like a big thing. You're trying to find jobs, right? So I was looking online for Craigslist jobs of like working from home. And I was like, you know what? This is perfect because if I'm already a part of this industry, I know there's probably other Ricos out there that are probably on Craigslist looking for something like this too, right? Don't do that, okay? I was inviting random people to my house. I was 21, right? I wasn't really thinking. But as we started to go on, it was so crazy because, again, we started to build and we continued to build. And I remember it was at the very first big event that I've ever went to. It was out in Texas. Actually, Man-nyy was there. That was the first time I seen Man-nyy, Tia, a lot of these people. They had no idea who I was back then. But, I went to this event. It was so crazy because I remember one of the first things I heard when I was there is it was one group. Now, still to this day, I'm a very quiet person, right? When I joined this industry, I was very introverted. I was very quiet, very shy. Broke out of that just a little bit, but I'm still overall very quiet. And as I got to this event, I was the only one in my organization that showed up to this event. And when I say my organization, I mean my upline, right? No one was there. So I didn't know anybody. And I went to this place. They called it the Hub, right? It was like a little office that everyone goes to. And I'm sitting in the Hub in the corner by myself. And saw those like cracking jokes in the corner, right? And I'm just listening to everybody. And there was this team from, I think like, I don't know, somewhere in the mountains, like it was somewhere cold, I don't know. But there was a team, and they were talking, and I hear their sponsor telling them, just like, they were like, tell telling them to post this weekend. And it was like, yo, put this on your social media, post this, make sure you put it on Facebook, right? Instagram wasn't really big back then. Put it on your Facebook, blah, blah. And they said something that day that since they said that, it stuck with me ever since. And I've been teaching it ever since. And the biggest thing that they said was, I heard them say it, they said, everything you do offline, just put it online. And I know that probably went over a lot of other people's heads because they're still not here till today, right? But to me, once I heard that, it kind of snapped in my brain because I'm like, everything I do offline, I put it online. That's perfect, right? Because someone like me, I've never traveled in my life. I didn't grow up with a lot of money or anything like that. So joining this industry and then making my way from Harlem, New York, all the way to Texas, right? It was like, wow, this is actually pretty big. I've never been to Texas before. So again, I'm like, okay, everything I do offline, put it on. Everything I do offline. And what I did was I went home. Now, mind you, I didn't have a lot of success in this industry. I was only 3 months into the industry when I went to this event. I didn't have a lot of success, and I definitely didn't have a lot of people that were reaching out to me to say, okay, what is it that you're doing, right? How can I be a part of it? But I remember, this was back when the company, they started launching these energy drinks. And the can looked pretty cool, right? It looked pretty cool. But I remember I went back to my hotel, and I was sitting in my bed, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I'm trying to think of like marketing pictures, right? Everything you do offline, put online. I'm like, how can I make this hotel room look lit? It was small and 7, right? But nobody had to know that. So I took the can, and I remember to this day, I just took the can, and I'm chilling. I folded my legs on the bed, took a picture of the can, and I posted it on Facebook. And I had a caption about like a healthy, alternative energy drink, blah, blah, blah. And I put like Rico, right? So that's how that happened. But long story short, it was really that post right there. Once I did that, it was crazy because when I got back to school, right, I went to Penn State University. And when I got back to school, I remember just from me being in Texas and me posting that, so many people from my actual school either heard about the company or was already a part of the company. And they had no idea that I was in it because I never actually told them. I never posted it, right? Now, once they seen that picture, I go back to school and everyone's like, yo, Rico, you're part of this thing too. Yeah, oh, my boy was trying to put me on this, blah, blah, yo, we could run it up on this campus. And I'm like, holy crap, like this is lit, right? And it was really from that point on that I started to understand the power of social media. Because right after that event, that's when I made my first month of really making residual, cracked the 600 mark. Right after that, cracked the 1,000 mark. And my team continued to grow from there on and on and on until eventually, like many said, the company just disappeared, right? But my point is, it was that one post that changed everything for me, right? Now, when we're talking about social media, okay, what I want you guys to understand, okay, is that first things first. How many of you here struggle with content? Right? Okay, cool. All right. So I'm probably going to hurt your heart a little bit. If you struggle with content, can I keep it real?
Yes.
Okay. If you struggle with content, the reason why you're struggling is most likely because you're not doing anything. And that's just the truth. Because if we talk about everything you do offline, put online, you should always have something to put online if you're actually doing so. So like, for example, we've been here for the last 2 days. You guys should have been blowing up your stories for this event, right? You should have been posting. How many of you have like any post that you've made, like an actual post, not just a story? You want me an actual post, right? So I'm looking around. I know you're ranked. I know you're ranked, right? I know you're ranked, right? So just looking around, success leaves clues, right? You guys should be posting this on your page. Why? Because you got to understand that social media is it's your way to really tap into the entire world, not just the people around you. I hear people talk to me all the time. New members come in and say, I ran out of people to talk to. I don't know who to show this to. I was just talking to some of my leaders. Like, it blows my mind when people say that they're running out of people to talk to. But do you not understand how many people are actually in this world? How many people are actually looking for something like this? Right? So if we're really breaking it down and tapping into this, guys, I break it down into 3 key points. And I'm going to go over those 3 key points with you. So get ready to take some notes, okay? All right, number 1, all right, actually, I'm going to give you the abbreviation. It's called ICC, all right? ICC. How many of you here have ever saw me do a social media training before? Okay, cool. So a few people, okay? So usually when I talk about ICC, the conversion aspect, I talk about funnels and stuff like that. Today, what I'm going to be doing is, because I know this is a boot camp, for some of the newer people, I'm going to be breaking it down into what it is that you need to do to really get to that point, right? Because not everybody starts with the funnels and stuff like that. So on ICC, it's very simple. It's image, content, and conversion. Okay? Image, content, and conversion. All right? So when we're talking about image, okay, I want you guys to really think about what is the image that you're portraying on your social media. Okay? What is the image that you are portraying on your social media? All right? You have to understand this. In today's world, your social media is like your online business card. A lot of people don't even have business cards, but they have social media. Okay? I actually prefer social media over a business card because with a business card, you hand it to somebody, they'll probably lose it or throw it away. You follow me on Instagram, whether you remember who I am or not, and as long as I'm consistent in posting, I'll pop back up on your feed. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's your social business card. Well, here's the truth about it. Naturally, when people are scrolling through, whether they just randomly find you, whether somebody reposts you, or even if you prospect somebody offline and you give them your social media, you have about 7 seconds to really catch their attention and have them make the decision of whether or not they think you're a person of value, whether or not you deserve that actual follow. And if you guys can't tap into that 7 seconds, I guarantee you they'll either unfollow you in the future or they'll continue to scroll right past your page and not care. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right? So when we talk about creating an image, you got to think about what style of marketer am I? What style of marketer am I? And there are a lot of different ways to look at this. Now, there's not one way that works better than the other. I've seen people have success in all of them, okay, in all of them. What I used to do was, before I became an educator, my actual Instagram was all building, network marketing, right? My YouTube was all trading, right? So I had, separated of the platform. Now, they both helped me see a lot of success. So it's not to say that one is better than the other, but you have to identify for you which one is going to work best for you, right? Now, when we're talking about the style of marketing, okay, and just like the different posts that you can make, it's very simple. I'm going to break it down into categories for you guys real quick. All right, this is going to go a little bit into content, but I want to do it right here on image as well, so that you guys know the actual categories. All right. So motivational / inspirational. Okay. Educational / value. Lifestyle. Company based. Yeah. Company based, right? And then just like your personal life and stuff like that. I'm going to get more into that when we go into content. But the reason why it's important to even know these when you're thinking about your brand and what it is that you want people to see you as is because, again, this is going to take effect or this is going to go hand in hand with what it is that you're posting and how you're posting it. Does that make sense? Okay. So as we're talking about the image again, okay, so you want to make sure that obviously, when you're talking about the image, you're talking about your presence, all right? How are you showing up? I know we did a lot of, etiquette training and stuff like that, so I know you guys get it by now, but when you're on social media, you want to make sure that your image is crisp, right? Quality, high definition. We're in 2022 now. Everyone should have some type of high definition phone, camera, whatever the case may be, okay? But make sure that your pictures, your videos, everything is on point. All right? I know a lot of the times we get so caught up with just posting, we get excited that we just post, but we don't realize that the quality of the post is trash. Right? Take the time to actually make the quality of your post good. Okay? Because if it's not, that's going to hurt your what? Your image. Does that make sense? Do you guys follow, anyone here follow any millionaires or billionaires on social media?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they post fuzzy, blurry, or whatever the case may be?
No.
They have a very high standard image, and you feel off of that. There's people that I follow, I don't even know how much they make, but I follow them because of the image that they have on social media. Something about them says, you know what, they might be a person of value to me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about content really quick. All right, oh, actually, no. In the image, we're going to talk about, before I get to content, so let's talk about image. So going back to this first 7 seconds of obviously people following you and stuff like that, what I want you guys to understand is that your actual profile itself is very important, okay? The profile itself is very important. And what I mean by that is that little top quarter section of the profile, which is your bio, your profile picture, your name, so on and so forth, okay? So when we're talking about your name, first and foremost, let's talk about usernames. Okay, because I know some of y'all probably have some wild usernames. Hopefully not. You're at this boot camp right now, right? But your username should be simple, catchy, no numbers, no symbols. Okay? Simple, catchy, no numbers, no symbols. All right? When you're looking at like the Grant Cardones, the Gary Vaynerchuks, whoever, right? You're looking at successful people online. Their username online is very simple. You remember it, right? It's catchy. It could be their name, right? There are never any numbers or symbols in successful people's username. It creates confusion. Not only that, but it helps the scammers create fake profiles. And now it's hard to tell who's real and who's fake. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So keep your username very simple, straight to the point, nothing crazy. All right? You don't need a bunch of A's and Z's and X's in your username. All right? So that's that. Keep it professional. Profile picture. Okay? Your profile picture should be bright, right? Vibrant colors. All right? Again, high definition and sharp. We're going to do an exercise at the end of this as well in terms of setting all this up, but we'll do that at the end. Okay? So profile picture, bright, vibrant. You got to remember when you're looking at someone's profile, especially as you're going through social media and building your account, you're liking people's stuff, or when you send them a DM or whatever the case may be, that bubble is a lot smaller than it is if the person's actually on your page, right? But when we're talking about building your social media account, that small bubble is what's going to be, along with your username, it's going to be what's the determining factor of if that person even clicks and says, who in the world is this? It's just like my picture. Does that make sense? So that little bubble, what I usually do is, right, and some people may say successes, but I would cycle through and I'll check to see if it's actually good. I'll put it on, right, and I'll go to another account, I'll like a picture, put it on, I'll say, okay, does this look good? Okay, cool, I like it, cool. I'll keep that there, right? But again, you got to treat your social media like your business, right? A lot of people don't, and that's why your social media doesn't make you money, okay? So treat it like a business, right? Profile picture has to be lit, all right? Now, in the name section, okay, so right under the profile picture, you have your name section. That's right above the bio. Everyone know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so here's a little tip not a lot of people know. That name section, when we're talking about just searching, right? SEO, search engine optimization. Anyone know what that is?
Yes.
Okay, somewhat, not really. So long story short, all right, search engine optimization is just putting you in that algorithm of, keeping it simple. When somebody searches a specific term or a tag or a keyword, whatever the case may be, you pop up. Okay, works with Google, YouTube, whatever the case may be. On the name section, okay, that works the same exact way. So like if you go to my name section, it says Rico Anderson / I think now it says binary options or HFX education, right? Before it said binary options on it. Why? Because I know that there's people searching binary options, and when you search binary options, guess who pops up? You, me, right? So on your name section, yeah, you can have your name there, but what I would also recommend is just, if you want to put a line, a slash, or whatever, or parentheses, also put, maybe a little tag. Maybe something where somebody may follow you, right? Or something like that. Someone may be searching a specific term, and you pop up there instead. It could be Forex, right? Well, Forex is a little, a lot of people are doing that, right? FX, Forex, whatever. Get creative with it is my point, right? You can even put a location. If you're from New York, right? Rico Anderson / New York City. Why? Because when people type New York City, my page will pop up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so that's the name section. Keep it nice, keep it cool, and put a term in there. I would recommend put a hashtag in here. All right, now let's talk about the bio. All right, how many of you here think you have a lit bio? All right, I believe you. That's why I asked. Right, so in terms of the bio, okay, the way that the bio should look. Number one, your bio has to be clean. If your bio is like one long paragraph and it's just that's wrong. Okay, space it out. Have line to line on your bio. Okay, so I can put maybe like 3 words here, boom, next line, boom, next line, boom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So space it out like that. Now, on the bio, what you would always want to put is, in my opinion, I always have like a short tagline or a quote. Right? Usually something positive. Now, when you're choosing your quote, do not choose a super long quote. Again, short and catchy. Because when somebody comes to your page, they need to see that, okay, you're a positive person. You're personally developed, right? This is someone that I may want to follow. So like mine, I've had it on there for a while. I have changing lives and lifestyles on mine, right? So something simple like that, right? You put, like I said, you can put a quote if you want to. So you have a quote / a tagline, okay? If you want to put something like what you do, Forex trader, binary options trader, educator, whatever the case may be, right? Digital entrepreneur, right? Put a short of what it is that you do, okay? And then lastly, these two go hand in hand, but number one, a call to action, all right? A call to action, and obviously a link in the link section. All right, so I'm going to talk on those two real quick before we move on to the next one. Okay, so a call to action. How many of you here have a call to action in your bio? Okay, so not enough hands. Okay, you need to have a call to action in your bio. This will make your life so much easier. Trust me, right? Because you'll have people, obviously you're telling them what to do, but the reality is a lot of times when we're on social media, right? When we're recruiting or when we're building a brand on social media, you got to understand that some people don't even know if it's acceptable for them to reach out to you. And it may sound crazy, but they're looking at you and they're like, hey, man, this Man-nyy guy looks super successful. Like, I feel a little weird. You know, people be on my DMs, they'll be like apologizing for reaching out to me. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. Like, I want you to reach out, right? So, but you have to have the call to action to let them know, okay, look, check out the link below. If you want to work with me, you know, if you're interested in trading, learning how to trade, if you want to work from home, check this out, or whatever the case may be. You have to give them a call to action that sends them to the link, all right down below. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so call to action. Now, the link is actually very important. The link that you guys put there, do not put some random video, right? Do not put somebody else's website, okay? I'm keeping it real, okay? Don't put somebody else's website, okay? Okay.
I was going to say, you want to have a substitute. They're not going to do the link to the training today, but they can see what we're doing.
Okay, guys. So don't put somebody else's website. What's my train of thought? Don't put a random video. I see so many times I'll go to somebody's link, and it's literally a link to somebody else's website. And I know it's probably your upline or your sponsor, but guess who you're sending your people to? Your upline and your sponsor, right? So don't do that. What I would recommend is, obviously, if you're in this room, everyone here is either a leader or aspires to be some type of leader, right? Either put together some kind of one-pager for yourself, you know, have a quick bio of yourself, whatever the case may be, get yourself a funnel, or you'll put together a website, you know, Wix or WordPress, whatever the case may be, and do it like that. Now, what you can also do, which was Man-nyy was talking about, is Linktree. Anybody here have a Linktree or know what Linktree is? Okay, so I keep a Linktree in my bio. All right, so Linktree is pretty much a website that you can, it's one click, so you put that in your bio, and when they click it, it'll link them to every single other link that I guess that you can promote. So like, for example, I have mine, I have my YouTube on there, I have, obviously, if you want to trade with me, trading mentorship on there, so on and so forth. So you can link more than one link onto one link, okay? And again, that will direct them once you get that call of action in there.
I don't want to take anything with Rico. What I want you guys all to do right now is something really, really quick, because there was a training that we were going to have today, but we're not going to have today. But we're going to do a bonus training on how to set up a link tree. But what I want you guys to do right now, real quick, is everybody take out their phone. I want you guys to go to my Instagram really quick. Okay? Like I got something extra on there. I know. Okay? All right, everybody go to IG. Go to my IG. I am Man-nyy. I am Man-nyy. Do not go to a scammer. I only have 37,000 followers, and each one of my photos has like 1,500 to 2,000 likes. So that is my real page. So make sure it's that page. I am Man-nyy. Okay. Click on my link tree. Okay. Can you guys see that link tree right there?
Yes.
Very, very simple. Now there's something extra on that link tree. You see each of the presentations. Click on like what is HFX, what is DCX. Click on that. You'll see a video pops up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Drop that in. Now go down and then there's a WhatsApp. You see that WhatsApp?
No.
Right? See that WhatsApp? I'm going to show you how to set this up. Click that WhatsApp and tell me what happens.
Hey, Man-nyy, I'm interested in learning more about what you do. Do things that fit for me. Can we schedule a quick 15-minute call?
You guys see that? That's how I get all of my leads. People go to my page. I follow Rico's training. They determine me as value. They go to my link tree. They look at that. They can pre-check out some information if they want or not. They click, reach out to me. That goes right to me. Boom, that goes right to my DM. And I have active, qualified leads that I'm already hitting up. Boom, just like that.
Fire, right? That was pretty fire. So yeah, in your link tree, that'll be something perfect that you can add to as well. Obviously, the contact me method, which is lit. All right. So so the main takeaway from the whole, I guess, the image section is really asking yourself, if I came to my page right now, would I follow me? Right? Would I follow me? Would I be interested in what it is that I do? And that, again, that all starts with your brand and how it is that you perceive yourself online and what it is or what's the image that you're trying to portray with your social media profile. Okay? Now, let's talk about content. All right? So content is actually very important. So this is the first C in ICC. All right? So going back to the different types of content that you guys can post, okay, very simply, there's five different categories. Okay? We already went over the categories. So inspiration, motivation, all right, number one. Education, values, number two. Lifestyle, number three. Company-based, number four. And personalized, number five. All right? Now, it's important to know all five. Here's why. Because you need to figure out, and what I like to do is, and I teach this in my organization as well, is that you don't have to focus on all five. But you should have at least three of the five that you can cycle through on your social media. Okay? The worst thing that you can do is be that person that has just one category on your social media and you're consistently posting the same thing over and over and over again. There needs to be a variety in your content. All right? And there's multiple reasons for that. For example, number one, when I do company-based, which is trading and building the business, I know exactly who it is that I'm posting for. I'm posting for other people that are either looking for trading mentors or I'm posting for other network marketers that are looking for new leadership, right? But here's the thing. What I also know about this category is that when I post company-based stuff, my personal life people don't engage. Can anyone agree with that?
Yep. Yes.
Right? It's only when I post my son, my lady, that all out of nowhere, I swear I get the most engagement out of that. Because I get the people in the business that support me, and then I get the actual personal life people, right? So her friends start to come in, family members start to come in, everybody is tapping into that. So you have to get a good balance of knowing your audience and knowing who to post for, right? Now again, if you're posting just the same thing, because I see a lot of people do this, they come in and they either stick to just motivation and inspiration, reposting quotes, and then when they come to events like this, just reposting company stuff. And what you got to understand is, and I'm not going to do an algorithm training, but when you're looking at the Instagram algorithm, okay, the Instagram algorithm is very much based on, it's not likes, right? It's not comments anymore, but it's based on how many people look at your stuff and either save it or share it, right? And if you're just posting that over and over and over again, and you already know that you get the least amount of engagement on this type of stuff, well, this is why you struggle with, number one, building a brand online, but number two, getting signups on social media. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? Now, when we're talking about the personal life stuff, I know a lot of people say I don't like to post my personal life on social media, but what you have to understand, and this is just the truth, you're building a business. This is network marketing. You don't have a network to market to, all right? You're not going to get very far, right? So people need to know who you are and what you're about because your vibe will attract your tribe, right? Your vibe will attract your tribe. So when I post this personal style of me, or just my personal life, me being crazy with my son, or whatever the case may be, people get to see the Rico behind the scenes. They don't see the Rico that's speaking in front of hundreds of people because then you're questioning, can I do this? Right? When they get to see the real you, this is when they really start to tap in and they can relate to that. Right? So for all my moms, right, especially if you're a single mom, you need to post that kind of stuff. I'm not saying put your kid on if you don't want to put your kid online, but there are other single moms out there that are probably watching you or wondering if they can do this business as well. But they don't know that you're a single mom seeing success in this business. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? Tia's a perfect example. Tia's a dancer. And that's literally pretty much all she posts on her social media is her dance career. You look at a big portion of her team, it's all dancers. Right? It's all dancers. It has nothing to do with network marketing or trading, but they join her. Why? Because they see the value in what it is that they post, and they like, trust, and respect her based on her personal life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? So you have to cycle through these categories. All right? And remember the categories and figure out which category fits best with your life. Because remember, it's not always going to be the lifestyle stuff. And again, most people revert to that because obviously that's lit and that's cool. But I'm telling you, you can see a lot of success without it. When I first started, really building this thing out, even still to this day, I don't post a lot of lifestyle on my page, right? But when I first started building online, I started to recruit a lot online. Literally, all I really did was I kept it to personal, I kept it to business, right? And what the business post does is it shows people, especially if you want to hit people up and recruit them, it shows them that you're serious about business, but it also shows them that you're actually working on something. So when you hit them up online and say, hey, I'm working on something, I'm looking for more people, blah, 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 they get to come to your page and actually see that you are working on something, right? So when I first joined, it was literally a matter of me. For me was everything I did offline, I put online and I made it look as lit as possible. Even something like this, I would make it look as lit as possible. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Now, all right. So talking about content real quick, I'm going to give you guys a few bullet points on content that I have written down that I think are actually very important. The first things first is you need to treat your social media content as if it's a separate business, right? You need to treat it like an actual business. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you're posting, let's say if I started a business right now, and I know we talk about network marketing and treating our network marketing business like $1 million business, but you guys gotta understand, if you plan on building $1 million network marketing business online, then your social media, your online profile has to look like a $1 million business. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So any single social media a platform that I've ever launched, and I say launched because I treat it like a business, I've always absolutely crushed it on it, 1,000%, right? When I first started YouTube, I told everybody on my team, I said, yo, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start this YouTube thing. Don't know how it's going to work, but it just makes sense. It's owned by Google, #1 search engine, YouTube right behind it, right? So I said, I'm going to start this YouTube thing. I put a date on when it was I was going to start YouTube, right? Am I right or wrong? I put a date on when it was I was going to start YouTube. I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, all right? But up until this time, it was about 2 weeks. I said, I'm going to put a list together of all the different video topics, what I see people are searching, what I know people on the team are asking about, and I put this topic together. I did about 30 different topics. And what I did was I spent the next week just making 15 videos. Didn't post them, but I'm treating this like my business. I was getting the business ready. So the first thing I did was I made my list. I already had the goal set. I knew what I was going to do with it, right? And then from there, on the date, which is March, I went ahead and launched my YouTube channel, right? A year, not even from March to December, over 20,000 subscribers. Coming into the next year, I'm about to crack 100,000. And that was just, again, it all starts with that first burst of momentum on YouTube. I did the same thing with TikTok, right or wrong? TikTok, I got on TikTok. I said, yo, I'm going to try this TikTok thing. Gary Vee keeps saying, get on TikTok, right? Now, I'm not much of a TikTok person. You got to be consistent with it. But I got on TikTok, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try this TikTok. I did the same thing. I pre-recorded a bunch of TikTok videos, switched my shirt out, right? Did it again. Switch my shirt out, did it again. Right? There you go, right? It's all the colors I wear, right? But pre-recorded all these videos, I said, okay, cool. This is what I'm going to do. I had 1 more month worth of content, and I just blasted it on TikTok. And through that time, like literally, my TikTok went crazy. I was having videos going like 1 million views, so on and so forth. It was getting insane. Like absolutely insane. I had 1 month on my funnel, 1 day on my funnel, where I had over 500 leads flow through my funnel, all through TikTok.
Wow.
Insane, right? Over 500 leads. That week, I think I got about 12 enrollments that week. All through TikTok. TikTok is good, by the way. I just don't have to. Huh? So on TikTok, what I was doing was I've always read that it's very niche dependent now. What I've always read is that you want to do at least 2 to 3 a day. Which is why I say you need a lot of time. But yeah, 2 to 3 a day seems to be like the magic number. I know the TikTok algorithm changed. So right before it was just posting random stuff going viral. Now they're trying to make it niche based. So they like to see that you are a part of a specific category, and you'll end up going viral even more if you are, right? But I did it with TikTok, and I just recently did it again with Instagram. So I've never really, since I got on YouTube, honestly, I stopped taking Instagram serious. But again, I told everybody, I said, I'm going to start taking Instagram serious this year. And the last month and a half, I've been posting crazy on Instagram. I've been doing the reels, whatever the case may be. I have multiple reels that just went bonkers out of nowhere. Now, mind you, my Instagram algorithm was dry, like absolutely dry. But again, for me treating it like a business, I said I'm going to take Instagram serious. starting January 2022. We're gonna run this thing up, right? One of my reels right now has almost 2,000 shares on it, and I went from absolutely nothing on my algorithm to now my Instagram being lit again, right? Right. So again, my point is when you start to treat your social media like a business. Now, by the way, when I say treat it like a business, here's another fun fact: every single social media platform I'm on pays me, which is insane, because they're paying me to build this business. And this business is paying me to build this business. Right? So you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. But here's the thing. When you're posting your content, we're gonna go back to what needs to be done. Number one, you need to post quality. It has to be quality. Spend time actually thinking about your post. More you have to spend more time on your captions than you do on the post itself. Right? But you gotta understand, when someone's thumbing down their feed, it's not gonna be the caption that makes them stop. It's gonna be the actual post. To be honest with you, right? Man-nyy knows this about me, right? I don't really read the long captions, but I will double tap if I like the post. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it real. I don't really read the long captions, but if the post is fire, I always double tap, right? That's just what I like to see, right? So post quality stuff. Number two, post with intent. All your posts should be intentional. Before I post anything, there is always an intent as to why I am posting it. Okay? Always an intent. And when the intention isn't there, when the intent isn't there, I save it to my drafts until I'm ready to post it. That's just how I do it. If I look at a certain post and this is how crazy I am, right? I think the older I get, the greener I get. I'm being real. But I look at my feed sometimes and I'm like, yo, the color of this picture does not match my feed. I'm not posting this yet. All right, anybody do that? Am I the only one? No. All right, cool. So that's what I do. I just wait until the color matches up. I'm like, okay, perfect. I'm gonna post this now.
And then once he posts it, he texts me. Viral.
No, it was just profile. The colors of profiles in general. I'm just saying, if it doesn't match, if the actual post doesn't match, I don't post it. Right? But post with intention. Understand why it is that you're making a certain post. Be real, guys. Look, there's a lot of people that be posting like funny memes, stuff like that. Like, stop posting that stuff. It has nothing to do with your business. Right? Keep it real. A lot of people think I like social media. I don't. I do it because it works. Right? My entire social media is strictly for my business. If it wasn't for the business, I wouldn't have social media. Keep it real with that. Right? But keep it to business and you post with intention. You have to understand that with every single post that you put on your profile, there's somebody thumbing through that feed that it could be one post. One post. I do it all the time. I see you post one thing I don't like, I immediately hit unfollow. That's just how I have these class, right? But it could be that one post that's make or break for that one person unfollowing or following. And when you're not being intentional behind your post, like with the selfies and whatnot, listen, I know you may look cute, but you're not posting for you. You're posting for an audience. Does that make sense? Yes. Put it to your story if you want to post it. All right? So post with intent. All right? Number 3 is to be the teacher, not the student. All right? Be the teacher, not the student. Okay? And what I mean by that is very simple, guys. When we talk about being the teacher, not the student, okay, I'm not saying to be uncoachable and stop listening to your mentor. But when you are online on social media, you have to understand that people don't join students. They join teachers. They join mentors. If they don't think you have the value to give to them, they are not going to sign up with you. Does that make sense? Yes. So as you are promoting and as you're advertising yourself or your business or whatever the case may be, you need to be the teacher and not the student and show people, hey, if you lock in with me, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going on. You need to always be providing that value online as if you are the mentor to the masses. Even when I didn't have an organization and I was showing up to events, I remember at Wake Up Now, I was going to every single event. I probably had about 2-3 people on my team. They didn't even come to the events. And I was going to every single event that Ness threw. Ness was to be my outline back then. But he always packed out the room. So with him packing out the room, I go over there like, yo, we're here, we're lit. Right? And it's not like I'm lying or anything. But I'm like, yo, we're working on something crazy. Y'all be crazy not to be at the next event. Like I'm standing right here with my mentor, blah, blah, blah. And it's not lying. Again, it's not lying. It's true. But they don't have to know that you are a P nothing. They don't have to know how many times you deranked. They don't have to know. Here's the thing: if you're always posting that, mentor and mentorship and leader and so on and so forth, they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna search for the person that you keep tagging, for the person that you keep talking about is teaching you. You don't believe me? I'll tell you right now, how many times people are in my inbox saying, hey, my boy just showed me the training thing, man, blah, blah, blah. Show me your YouTube. He's a part of this company. But to be honest, I want to sign up with you. And it hurts me sometimes, but I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Right?
Unviral.
It's true, though. But again, I don't have to tell you guys this stuff, but I want y'all to win. That's the truth, right? So it's very simple. Be the teacher. Stop directing them to other people. Now, if there is something specific that you have to direct them to, then that's different. But when your entire social media is about you following somebody else, they're going to follow somebody else too. Does that make sense? Yeah. So be the person to provide that value is what I'm saying. Okay? Next one is, all right, post for people, not yourself. I already kind of got into that, so we're not going to get into that too much. And the last but not least is stay consistent, no matter what. If there's one thing that I've learned about social media is the second you stop, the second you slow down, the algorithm will cut you. Like, the algorithm is serious nowadays, right? And everything is based on the algorithm. If you're on I did an MLB social media training like 2-3 weeks ago. We dive deep into like the algorithms and stuff like that and understanding the algorithms. But in today's world, social media, I don't care what anyone says, it's all about the algorithm. And if you don't understand the algorithm, if you're not on the algorithm's good side, social media is just not going to work for you. But one of the biggest things that they like to see is consistency. Consistency. When you're talking about YouTube, when you're talking about Instagram, when you're talking about TikTok, or even Facebook, they want to know that you are consistent with your posts. Because if you are consistent with your posts and people enjoy your posts, that means you're keeping people on their platform. Right. But if you are not consistent with posting, and you come back every once in a while, then they will always put the next person above you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you have to stay consistent. And it doesn't matter. Stop posting for likes. Like some of y'all are more worried about likes than y'all are about making money. It's crazy. Stop posting for likes. Stop posting for likes. The likes, I'm telling you, when you start getting this whole social media thing down, in the beginning, you're not going to get a lot of likes. When I decided to start doing Instagram again, my first few reels did nothing. I got like a couple hundred. I'm like, come on, I'm a chairman. I got way more than that. But they get nothing. After a while, though, when you stay consistent, Instagram starts to push you out more people, you'll see the numbers come in. Does that make sense? Yep. So you have to stay consistent. Okay? Then lastly, so we're going to talk about conversion real quick. We're going to go into the last portion of this. So conversion is very simple. How many of you here would like to be able to convert your followers into enrollments? Yes. Okay? Most important, right? So if we're talking about converting your followers into enrollments, here's the first thing that you have to understand. Educate first, pitch last. Okay? Educate first, pitch last. Anyone here follow Gary Vee? Yeah. Okay. So I've been following Gary Vee since like 2015. And it's one thing that's always stuck with me is his jab, right hook. All right, anyone here ever heard of that? Jab, right hook. Okay. So jab, hook is very simply, hitting them with the small taps first. Now the small taps in our business would be value, educating people, teaching people for free. The only reason why my YouTube blew up is because for the first 6 months of YouTube, I educate for free. People were enrolling to me not even knowing that I was in IM Academy because of the free education that I was giving them. Right? So educate for free. Stop worrying about the sign up. Stop being so hungry and thirsty to get that enrollment. Provide the value to the marketplace, and the marketplace will always pay at the end of the day. Right? So provide the value. Hit them with the value first, and then once you got enough value posts in there, hit them with a double rush promo. Right? Something like that. Let them know, hey, look, listen, I know you guys have been following me, right, for X amount of time, but look, we're running a huge promotion for everyone that wants to trade with me. Here's what you got to do, X, Y, Z. But if you're not providing value, see, the promos, the stuff like the promo and stuff like that, this is how I run it, guys. Look, very simple. The last double rush promo we did, I maxed it out in 2 days, right? And the reason why I did that is because I just provided a lot of value. I know the companies, they do promos like pretty often, a couple times a year, right? And I have my funnel, okay? I don't bother the people in my funnel. I have it set to automatically follow up with them for, probably the first month. After that, I don't bother them. But what I do is I keep providing the value because I know they follow me on social media. And then once that promo hits, boom, email, oh God, you got crazy promo coming in, so on and so forth, boom. And then the congratulations email starts going in, right? Yeah. But I always, again, I'm not thirsty for the sign. I'm not. And you guys, and it's not to say don't be in the trenches and don't be close and whatever. I'm not saying that. But some of y'all are just way too aggressive on your social media, and you're actually scaring people off more than you're actually attracting them. Not only that, but you look like every other network marketer. And that's what you don't want to do online, right? Remember, you're building a brand. The most important thing that you can have in this business on social media is a personal brand. Personal brand. Because your personal brand can take you from X to Z or whatever. It doesn't matter what you're selling or what you're doing. Your social media will always follow you if you have that personal brand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Now, I really wanted to, again, posting with a purpose. Make sure that you guys first post with a purpose. Last but not least, eventually, you guys do want to start looking into and tapping into funnels because funnels are definitely lit. And I believe that, here's the truth. I know we talk, a lot of people talk about being the social media, king or guru or whatever the case may be. But the truth is that if you don't have enrollments coming in on a weekly, on a monthly, on a daily basis, without you actually talking to them, you don't understand social media, right? So in my business personally, I'm still in the trenches. I'm going to tell you guys how it is that I, approach people on social media, so on and so forth. But my funnel does a lot of the heavy lifting for me. It's to the point where literally, yesterday, today, and the day before, I get enrollments here in Orlando from people that I've never spoke to. They just sign up, boom, because of the funnel. Right? Now I go ahead and I send them a nice email after because the company gives us their email. Hey, welcome to the team, blah blah blah. Hit me up, whatever. Right? But again, if you're talking about social media, the goal is to always, to be honest, in my opinion, automate it. Why? Because then you can focus more on being in the field and building with those people once they're in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure. Now here's what I also understand. In the beginning, if you are brand new, you probably don't have that brand or that following yet. So how do you build up to that point? All right? There's a few different ways that I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fly through. I got a few minutes left, so I'll fly through it. And I really want you to take notes on this, okay? So number one, when we talk about converting on social media, everyone always asks me the secret. How do I, reach out to people? What do I say to people? How do I talk to people? Whatever the case may be. Guys, I form. I've been forming since 2013, and it's never changed for me. Right? So FORM, very simple. I know we went over form already this weekend, so I'm not going to go too much into depth with it. Okay? Now, when I do form, I switch it up a little bit. So the first one, I agree with Neno, what Neno said. I don't always do family first. I change it from family to from. Right? So the first question I was asking was like, yo, where you from, man? I have people say to me, UK. Yo, that's crazy. That's lit, bro. I actually have a lot of people in the UK that I'm working with right now. Right? What do you do out there? Right? So something like that. So I switch it to from if it's cold market. Right? The second one is occupation. We already know that. All right? The third one is R. I put relationship. All right? Not recreation. I put relation. All right? The reason being is because if we're cold marketing on social media, relation is very important. Why? Because for anyone to buy from you, they got to like, trust, and respect you first. And if you just go straight into, hey, look, this is what we're doing, I'm looking for blah, 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 let me send you some information, well, this is where the skepticism may come into place. Yeah. I literally have people on social media that I don't know, they don't know me, and they're like opening up to me with like 3 or 4 messages in, they're telling me about their whole life, how much they hate their job, and so on and so forth. But it's because I build that relationship with them. So after I get like where they're from and what they do for work, like for example, in New York, I don't know why, I get a lot of people that are either construction workers or barbers. Right? And, I would always form them, and the relationship that I would build with them, like construction workers, for example, I would say, man, you're so crazy. I actually speak to a lot of construction workers, on Instagram. And they all love the pay, they love the benefits, they all tell me the same thing. It takes a crazy toll on their body. How's it going for you? And just from like saying something like that, construction workers always open up. yeah, man, you're right, like, blah, 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 I've been doing this for X years, 15 years, it's always some crazy number. I'm like, damn, it's crazy how much that makes me working that way. But it's always some crazy number. And then again, they're opening up to me. So once I build that relationship with them, right, then I hit them with the message. My message is always very simple, and it depends on the conversation. It depends on the person that I'm speaking to. But it's usually something along the lines of, well, hey, look, listen, man, I know you told me X, Y, Z, obviously based on what they related to me. I know you told me X, Y, Z. I got something I'm working on right now that may or may not be for you, right? But let me ask you, you can keep your options open to additional income outside of what it is that you're trying to do. And based on the answer I get to that, I hit it with the if, I, would you. Okay, perfect, man. Well, look, if I were to send you over some information, if I were to send you over a quick video, only 5-10 minutes long, would you be willing to take a look at that? They say, yeah. I say, okay, cool. What's your number? I'll send it to you. And that's how I get them from social media to my contact.
Yo, that was so fire. That was totally fire. That was the best way I've ever heard formed. And then kept in the if I would you, all that. Hopefully it was just fire. I can't wait to listen to the recording.
Appreciate you. But so that's how I form. I keep it very simple, to the basics. I don't add anything extra to it. And when I prospect on social media, I know a lot of the time, especially as the times start to change, but I want everyone to understand that since I've been building in this industry, since the very beginning, I've always followed GoPro on building the empire. Those are literally the only two systems I've ever followed, and I've seen massive success with those. And I'm not saying that other systems are wrong or don't work, whatever the case may be, but getting back to the basics and really understanding the foundation of network marketing can take you very far. People, again, and I apply what I learned in these books to social media as well. Now, obviously, as times change, you have to adapt here and there a little bit and change certain things, but overall, the concept is still exactly the same. You guys have heard, it's so crazy, there's so many trainings and so many things that I've heard this weekend that literally people were saying, like, for example, form. We learned like 3 or 4 different ways to form this weekend, right? And it's crazy to see the different types of leaderships and their perspective on it, but the overall of form is exactly the same for every person. You just put your own spin. You know what I'm saying? So I don't change anything up. Now, in terms of the people that I am forming, where do I find the people? How do you get the people, right? There are 3, right? There's 3 types of people that you're going to get on social media, okay? Or 3 different, approaches, you can say. I don't know what to categorize it as, right? But number 1 is ace hunting. Ace hunting. Okay? Ace hunting. All right? Yeah. Number 2 is pool, P-O-O-L, pool prospects. All right? And number 3 is action-based. Action-based. Okay? And I'm going to wrap it up right after this, okay? And then we're going to do a quick exercise, if we still have time. So number 1 is ace hunting. So ace hunting is very simple. This is my favorite way of prospecting people. All right? Remember this, OQP. Anyone knows what that is? Only quality people. I always prospect up. And I've always done this since I was broke, and since when I was not broke. I always prospect up. And I know a lot of times when we hear prospect up, we always think like we have to prospect, all these millionaires and top earners and people with 1 million followers. I'm gonna give you guys a reality check, right? This is the truth. The followers of the people you're prospecting has absolutely nothing to do with the value that they're gonna provide in your business. I've personally brought in, and I've also had people on my team that gets me on this call, like, yo, I got this guy that got 1 million followers, I got this girl, she has a few followers, blah, blah, blah. And we get on the call, we try to launch their business, and we do absolutely nothing. So don't get excited from followers. It's social media. And it's like a bathroom wall. People can literally put whatever they want on their social media and make their life look as lit as hell, right? And it's not, all right? So followers have nothing to do with it. When I am ace hunting, this is typically what I'm looking for. People of influence. And by influence, again, it's not followers, but when I look at their page, like for example, there's a gentleman that just reached out to me. I believe he's from the islands. I don't know which island. He looks like he's from the islands, right? And on his page, he looks like, I believe he's a DJ or something like that. Now, he only has about 3,000 followers. But when I go to his page and I look at his post, I see the engagement, the comments, the people that interact with every single one of his posts. I see the amount of likes that he gets on it. It shows me that this gentleman has influence over his followers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See, influence and following is a big difference, right? So I look for influence, all right? That's number one. Number two, okay, people who are already looking for what it is that we have. So that could be people interested in trading. Why? Well, because if I know that you look like a struggling trader, just keeping it real, and I reach out to you working for the #1 online trading academy in the world, all I have to do is show you a little bit of information about it, and I know that you are likely to get started. Now, the fact that you already have some kind of prior knowledge about trading makes my life a lot easier because now I get you some small results, and we can get you to build a lot faster. I have to teach you the basics. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, last but not least, and this is my favorite one, okay? Favorite one. And I know, I believe Nina spoke about this too on the last social media call, right? Prospecting leaders from other companies, okay? It's not cross-recruiting if it's in another company. Not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but it's true, okay? All right? Now, when I say leaders, understand this. A $1,000, $2,000 level might not be a lot here, but our company is very different than most other network marketing companies. And most other network marketing companies, to build a $1,000, $2,000 residual income, you need a couple hundred people in your organization. So even if they look like they're still working a job or they don't have the latest lifestyle, but you're prospecting these people from who knows where, right? You're reaching out to them, you're asking them qualifying questions, and you're figuring out, okay, about how much you make and residually, how things are going in your business, so on and so forth. Do you keep your income options open? Understand, it doesn't have to be someone at a chairman level. It could be someone that's literally at the same level in life as you. But if they're making that amount in their previous company and you tell them, look, you got 200 people on your team, you're only making $1,500 a month, bro, I can get you 5,000 over here. Just 25 people more, right? Every single time they will get excited and they will be coming in ready to launch. They're going to tell the whole team, yo, listen, look, I got this, blah, blah, blah.
Let's go. Say it again. Say
Right?
it again.
Here's the truth, right? Here's the truth about network marketers, okay? And I'll keep it real with you guys. How many of you here, this is your first company? Wow, so a lot of hands, more than half of them, right? So here's the truth about network marketers, okay? Real network marketers, no matter what company you put them in, will always run it up. A lot of the times when you join this company, you believe that, oh, I have to be successful. I have to be, see a bunch of results in trading or whatever the case may be to see success in the company. When the truth is, before I even joined Man-nyy and learned how to trade, right, the first time I joined, this is the second time I joined, first time I joined, we put over 30,000 volume in the system in a month and a half. I had no idea what I was doing on the charts, right? But again, you can take a network marketer and put them in any single company, and if they are a network marketer, they will always run it up. Why? Because the vision has nothing to do with what it is that they're selling. The vision is about the freedom and what this industry can do for their lives. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So when you go ahead and you catch somebody that may be running it up in another company, all right, hey, look, you may just be a part of the wrong vehicle. Let me put you on the right. Right? Everything may be good. Your vision may be there. The goals may be there. But you just may be in the wrong car. Right? Let me put you in the Lambo. My guy next, right? So, ace hunting, honestly, like I said, other MLMers and people of business or people in the industry is definitely a nice way to tap into that. Now, the second one is the pool. Tapping into the pool of people. All right? So the pool of people very simply is, all right, going to other pages. So like Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, right? I don't record this, but I used to go to Millionaire Mentor, right? Now he's in the company, so I can't say that, right? But going to other pages of influence that have business followings, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, so on and so forth. Why? Because these are business people, open-minded people, following other traders that are not in the company. All of these gurus online that's selling courses for thousands of dollars that teach you one strategy, right? Go to their following and tap into their pool, their network of people. Start following their people. Start commenting. Start liking their posts. And then hit them with the DM. Form them. Right? All right. So the pool of people is the second one. Okay, quotes pages, MLM pages, whatever the case may be. Then action-based is the third one. So the action-based, I believe you can get a lot of traction from this. I'm pretty sure Fads talked about this as well. But the action-based is people that you're prospecting based on their actions. And what I mean by that is when people react to your story. Anyone here ever get story reacts from people that are not in the business?
Yeah.
Okay, use that. They're interacting with you. Interact back, form them up, give them a message, send them the video. Does that make sense? Liking posts. When you guys make a when you make a post and people are liking on your post, go to your post and start messaging every single person that liked your post. They're already following you. They see what you're doing. They're liking your post for a reason, especially if you post a business or trading related post. If they like it, it's for a reason. Right? So action-based. Right? Start tapping into that network as well. All right? And then after you get all of that, it's time to start contacting people. And again, once you start tapping into the 3 different categories that I just said, again, watch their stories. This is what I usually do. I watch the stories because people always see that, right? You gotta remember, the average person isn't getting like hundreds of views on their story like some of you are, right? They're probably getting like 10, 15, 20. So when they see your little picture pop up, they're like, who is this? Right? They're viewing my story. I don't know this. So watch your stories, like a few posts. Okay, if you want, you can even comment on a post. And then right after you do that, DM them. DM them and begin to form them. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Everyone following?
Yes.
All right, cool. So what we're going to do is, I think my time is running out a little bit. I don't really want to do a quick exercise in the body or whatever. You guys don't know. No? Too late? I want to do it. All right. What? Yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah. You said until, right? Not until?
Until my daughter got to go to school in a few hours.
All right, so real quick, we're going to do a quick, so I know I went over everything or the way that your bio should be. Okay, so in terms of your bio, everyone take the notes on the bio part, or what your profile should look like, so on and so forth. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I guess, how do you want to run this? This is your idea. What do you want to do?
Let's go follow. Wednesday night we have our MOB Wednesday night social media call that we do every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. What we can do is we could do instead of doing like a training, we can do a follow-up to what this is here, and you can come on and we'll do like a huge mastermind, and it'll be a rebranding mastermind. So we'll go over like, okay, listen, we'll have 15 minutes to set up. Yo, don't start getting up. You nobody can do that. Just slow down.
So, in terms of social media, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap it up since we're not going to do that. Hopefully, you guys got some value. If you guys do have any questions on that, you can definitely hit me up. Hit me up on social media. Ask me whatever question. Which question? Rockstar Effects. So it's Rockstar, okay, with 2 R's at the end of Rockstar. So Rockstar Rico. Just think of it like that. Rockstar.